Jim. What has Jim got?
Oh, those are teakwood. What do you call those things? Are those buttercups?
That is wonderful.
It came out. I just stole that off their website. So, okay, how are you doing?
Wonderful. How are you?
Good, doing good.
Good, good.
Got some wine there.
Why do you always think I'm drinking?
Well, no, I didn't think. I mean, it's 5 o'clock somewhere here. In fact, it's 5 o'clock here.
Yes, it is. This is my walking cup. This is not a wine cup, Jim.
Oh, whatever. Okay.
Caroline, how are you?
I am just fine, thank you.
Good.
I am. I'm looking forward to our walks.
Me too.
That B. Reardon on there. She's muted though.
I do. I get to go to Cheekwood Saturday night, I think.
Well,
Good.
I just talked to Jane, and I'm not to Jane, and she said that all the Chihuly stuff looked beautiful.
Oh, good.
I could change my background to something else.
No, leave it.
No, wait a minute, I got something else that you might like.
You got.
Let's see if I can figure out how to do that.
Does this mean we're going to get 2 of Martha Phipps?
2 what?
Oh, it's Martha.
No, I think that's, I don't know, maybe.
How you coming with your classes, Laura?
Great. I had midterms last week, so that's good. And
pass?
Ma'am?
Did you pass?
Well, I haven't gotten my grade back, but I certainly hope so. I'm pretty confident. I know I made an A, but I did not do as well as I wanted to. There were some questions that just were not in my notes at all. I must have missed them in the lecture. So, you know, you do what you can. So, yeah. But I am just a month away from finishing this semester, and then fall semester starts in September. So,
grand. Oh, good.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll be doing it the same way, doing the visual.
Yes. I did go up to New York a few weeks ago, and then I probably will go up during the fall semester, but I'm going to still be doing it from here.
Oh, good. I feel like you've kind of got to get a feel of who you're working with and everything.
Oh, well, exactly. That's why I went 2 weeks ago, was to set up some relationships with some of the houses and things like that. It was so much fun.
Good.
Yeah. So, oh, Jim, you did change. Now you've got Chihuly. Look at you.
That's the Chihuly sculpture that Sally and I sponsored. That's the sapphire, whatever. That's on the lawn right in front of the mansion.
How did all of it do in the storm Sunday?
I don't think I think they were just putting it together. So they break these little pieces all the time, just to make another one. So
I really was thinking, boy.
That one especially, there several 100,000 pieces of glass on those things.
Wow. Hello.
Hey.
Hey, Martha.
Hello, Martha.
Hey.
Are you going to swing and talk to us?
No, I'm not. Okay.
I like it.
Okay.
Okay, it's right at 5:30. Let's get some people starting to join. Let me go grab it.
Good. Yeah.
Caroline, here's one of the prettiest pictures.
Did I miss the meeting agenda?
No, I actually did not send it because with school I didn't get it done until about 3 hours ago. But I'll share it.
Good. I just didn't know if I'd overlooked something.
No worries. Okay.
Jim, look at you.
That's a real good one. That's one that's going to be there.
Did you had to have a little help to get on?
Who, me?
Yes, you.
No, I'm go back to the flowers.
Oh, all right.
Okay. So
Peter
let's.
Grimaldi going to be on the call today?
I have not had a no from him, so I would like to think so.
So he'll think I'm plagiarizing everything.
I think he would be glad to have the publicity.
He might be. We won't if he comes on, let's don't send anything to him. See what he says.
Lisa said she was going to be on.
Okay, great. We'll give it just a few more minutes. It's just 2 minutes after.
Yeah, I just see 4 people. Is that what y'all see?
There are 4 people and then 3 that don't have video, Jill, Lyle, and Beth.
Oh, okay.
That's all right.
I don't see that.
Michael, how are you?
I am just fine, thank you.
Good. Did you have any trouble finding the link on the website?
No,
Okay.
perfect.
Okay, good. Good, good, good. Okay.
Looks like somebody else coming.
Yep. Hey there, who just joined?
It's Peter.
Hey, Peter, thanks for joining us.
Oh, good.
Okay, now I know Kathy and Carolyn will not be on the call, but we're still missing Lisa, Seth, Gavin, and Carter. So we'll give them a minute.
Uh-huh. Peter, the Cheekwood, was it just the magazine that came out? Lim couldn't get, he kept talking about it. He doesn't ever even look at those things. He just loved it. You all did a beautiful job with it. Is he
That
here?
that turned out very nicely. Thank you for saying that.
What did he say?
He said it turned out very nicely. Hey, Peter, can you speak up a little bit?
I'll try. I'm driving home.
No worries. Okay, well, so far I have got Peter, Jim, Beth, and Lyle, and then I have Jill, Michael, Martha, Caroline, and myself. So, and we're at 5:34. Let's give it one more minute, see who joins.
Oh,
And
right. Did anybody lose any trees yesterday in the storm?
Nope.
Mm-mm.
Everybody still together?
Yep.
It was really something. What 2 inches fell in just the short period of time? I was welcomed
It was
every
quite a
drop.
storm.
Sally got her car detailed yesterday, and so the day before yesterday, and she didn't want to drive it anywhere yesterday, so she had to take my little jalopy out.
Okay, well, we're at 5:35, so let's go on and get started. I am going to share my screen right here. Can y'all see that?
Not yet. There we go.
There
Yeah.
it is.
Okay, great. Okay, well, so let's get started. So action items from the previous meeting have all been completed. I need an update from Gavin about talking to Mike Berkeley. And then what I'd like to start talking about or to kick off is our fundraising, the 2020 fundraising. So I have not received, and I'll just double check one more second because I sent an email this afternoon. I have not received any financial updates on donations since April for series. I know we've had a few trickle in here and there, but so I believe we're still right at where we were last month, or really, which is April, which is 46,905. So that's about where we are right now. We had talked about doing, had the series doing a push for donations with, like during a finite amount of time, and during this amount of time for an additional donation, series would either provide a plant or plant it for you for an additional additional gift. And so I went to Creekside and talked to their owner, and he is offering to give us, because it's so late in the season, some mandevilla for 50% off. And then there's something that I have forgotten the name of that starts with a D that is like mandevilla. We had talked about level 1 was something smaller on the base, and level 2 would be something wonderful to climb up. And so the mandevilla, he said, would be like the $200 level, and then the $100 level would be the smaller sort of white flower. And he's, like I said, offering them both to us for 50% off. So if we would like to, I want to get feedback from y'all, but if we'd like to, we are ready to do that. I think August would be the month. We would say from the 1st of August, you know, August 1 to 31st, for this amount, you know, we'd send a mailer and say, you know, for an additional donation of $100, you know, we'll provide a plant. For $200, we'll provide this plant, and for an extra $100, we will come plant it for you. So I think the time to do it is now instead of the fall, but I'd like to hear if y'all, what y'all think.
Hi, this is Jill. Can I say something?
Hi, please do.
Hi, and I turned on my video. I was going to garden during our meeting, but I decided to sit down. So I was thinking, like, August is not a good time to plant in the heat like that. And Creekside isn't really giving us a donation because all their plants are their tropicals are 50% off now. So that's not in a special gift. But I bet now, because I mean, are people going to be aware of watering, etc.? You know, August is usually really dry here. What does everyone think?
Mm-hmm.
I think more spring would be an issue, would be a goal for that.
I agree.
Okay.
And you've got clematis here too.
We talked about that, but they did not offer clematis. So that's from the last meeting. So I talked to him about mandevilla and then something with the D, which is what he offered us.
Dipladenia, probably, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's very much like a mandevilla. The thing is, both of those are annuals and they're not going to last. And it's
right.
like Jill said, it's the hot summer. I don't think that's a very good idea.
Okay.
I agree.
So would we like, so when we say wait till the spring, that will have to be for next year then, because we send our letters in April. So it won't help us for this year, but I think it's a great idea for next year, and it might be something we want to move forward. So do we want to take this as an idea for next year?
Yeah,
Maybe
and
table
I
it.
think the clematis would be better.
Okay, rather
do
than
too.
mandevilla?
Can we get
Yeah.
the letters out before April, like in February, and then people could, you know, they could warm up to it, and I don't know. What do you all think?
Aren't there some winter plants you could put out and then have a maybe year-round kind of mailbox creation that would be colorful for their mailbox all year long? I put the mandevillas in, and you know, in May or June, but have something else that's colorful in the winter. There's some colorful plants for winter that would.
What did Mike Berkeley? Did he respond?
Gavin is not on. Gavin was talking to Mike, so I do not know.
Wait a second. What did Martha? What do you have? Do you have a sweet pea around your mailbox? What's around your mailbox?
Yeah, I just planted that. Isn't that cool?
It's great. I love that.
And then the seed pods fall down and it reseeds.
What about that
Okay.
idea?
I can go walk to the mailbox and show it to y'all.
I love that. I walked by and I was impressed. I thought it was
Is it something
excellent.
we can plant in August?
It's a seed pea. It's a, what is it? It's a sweet pea.
Martha, do go out to your mailbox. Let's see it. We'd like to see it. You got you on your cell phone?
Okay, all right. I'm walking. I'm on my iPad. I got it. I just got it. Let's see, where did I get it? I got it at Hewitt's.
You could also plant seeds.
Yeah, they do not fail. You can
Right.
Oh, well,
People
we
may
like
not
something
like
that does not fail.
get Martha's seeds.
Martha, I think you're too far away from the Wi-Fi for us to hear you.
I could probably walk over and take a photo.
What?
Can you holler? Can you holler at her to take a photo and walk back to her Wi-Fi, Jill, and tell her across the street?
I think she's right there. She could probably take a photo.
Okay.
Is
Okay.
one of the common names Lab?
Do what?
A common name of this bean is Lab.
Lab.
LABL.
Of sweet pea? Of sweet pea?
Well, so while we're waiting on Martha to come back into reception, what do we think? Is that something, since she's had success planning it this week, is it something we could do for August to plant? Is it something we want to do? What do y'all think?
Else. I'm covered up in my garden. I don't think I could take on another project. How about you guys?
I just don't see people really, unless they're just really, really gardeners and they've got space. I don't see this
Right.
time of year.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
so,
I agree.
All right. So we're at a consensus then to wait till the spring. And do we want to talk about doing sweet pea instead of the clematis or clematis?
What about a subcommittee taking it on and then coming up with like a few different ideas?
Sounds good. Sounds good. Okay. So we will table that until we can table that until January and talk about that. Okay. Okay, great. Okay, the next thing to talk about is well, I have it still under tree ordinance, but there's actually a Beth had found something where homeowners, so this is something to talk about whether we would like to do it, but homeowners can apply to have their own property designated as a tree sanctuary. It's something that we may want to look in doing. We may want to sort of promote. I think right now with the tree ordinance coming in, and I think it's a great time to sort of take this momentum and build on it, especially when people who may think that a tree ordinance is a little too much government or whatever. This is a great way to say, really, we're just trying to protect a tree covering for the city. This is not dictating what you can and cannot do in your yard. We're just making sure that we continue to have our safe tree covering. So if you are interested in it, I have put the link right here in the in the agenda in the minutes. So go ahead and take a look at that. If that's something you want to do, then let's do it. And if it's something that we would like to publicly do, to say, the Ceres Society is taking a step and we are all doing this, we would love to have all of these mini sanctuaries. We can write articles on it. We can do all kinds of things sort of to promote it. So what do y'all think?
I like it.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, sounds good. All right, well, that is there. The next update is for the enhancement strategy or the master plan. We have set dates to walk the boulevard starting the 18th. So that is this Saturday. So we're going to walk from St. George's to the Deer Park Triangle, and y'all have emails with this. And then on Monday, we'll walk from Harding Place to Deer Park. So we'll do the other side. So the reason we're doing it that way is for parking. On Saturday, we'll park at St. George's and walk to Deer Park. On Monday, we're going to park across from the country club, that little grass area, and we'll walk backwards to Deer Park Triangle. Thursday, which I have mistyped, we will park at that same place across from the country club, and we'll walk from Harding Place to West Tyne. So we'll end at the second bridge. And then Saturday, we will park at Page Road and walk from Percy Warner Park backwards to West Tyne. So those are the times. It's during 2 weeks. So hopefully, or it starts one and goes to the other. So I'm really hoping that everybody can make at least one. It's going to be warm, which is why we're doing it in the mornings and the evenings. I definitely recommend wearing walking shoes. I will probably be in exercise clothes just because it's going to be hot. But come ready to walk and ready to talk and take some notes. Does anybody
Are
have?
we gonna be masking for that, or 6 feet apart? Like, what is
We are
the
masking
protocol?
for that. Yes, we are masking for that. Does anybody have any questions on that?
Oh.
Okay. The next thing I want to talk about with the master plan, we had talked about last month, a focus on unity, identity, and service. And Carolyn Sorensen sent an email saying, talking about how can we really start to use this or start to build on this service aspect. And she said, there may be a community garden in another part of town that we could partner with. Or something like that. And so wanted to hear your ideas on how we incorporate this service aspect.
So
What were her ideas? Partnering and doing what?
Just helping out with a community garden, maybe giving them tips, maybe working in the garden with them. If there are children, then they're sort of teaching them. I think it was just very wide open. She unfortunately could not make it tonight to talk about it more, but it was really just seeing if we could find a community garden, maybe in the inner city or someplace that really needs a community garden, and or possibly starting one. But I'd just like to hear your thoughts.
Laura Catherine, I feel like we really need to start things like that in the spring when it's fun to get out, and then they get to seeing it growing, and then they won't mind going in the heat to keep it going. I think to try to start something that in the, right here in July and August, to me, I don't feel like that's a very good idea.
Okay. If this was
but I
an
love the
existing community
idea.
garden,
Yeah,
would
me
you like
too.
to sit in there? Okay. Okay.
What's that, Laura? Laura
If
Catherine,
this-
what'd you say?
If this was, if it was an existing garden that needed some help, would we want to wait till the spring, or we want to jump in?
Well, Mike, where's this? I mean, community service is great. Don't take this the wrong way, but is like service and outreach an active part of our mission? I thought we were about preservation, beautification, and education.
We are, but in last month's meeting, in our discussions about the master plan and the enhancement strategy, we had said community identity, community unity, identity, and service would be our focus.
Yes,
for the
but
master
I think that was here in Belle Meade. I mean, my first reaction to Carolyn's idea is it's a great idea, but I don't want to dilute the volunteer pool that we're going to need on Belle Meade Boulevard to execute
Right.
our plantings and maintenance.
Yeah.
Let's start beautifying Belle Meade with our donors' dollars, and then take it from there. And also, regarding this summer, I even if it were a great opportunity that we really wanted to move on, I wouldn't participate. I'm not getting close to people that, even in the open air, that a bunch of people. So that wouldn't work for me. Sorry.
Okay. Thank you. That's why I wanted to.
Jill, I second that. But as part of the education committee, I would love to do the teaching piece, about vegetable garden, like, soil and all that. I love that idea.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I'd be willing to even do that now, Laura, Catherine, if someone can do the legwork and identifying, where the need is and the group really wants that, that would be a question too. We don't want to come from Belle Meade to an impoverished area and say, let us teach you how to do this. They may know more than we do.
Yeah. Okay. I will talk to Carolyn. And Jill, what I'd like to do is get you and Carolyn together. Maybe y'all could work that out. I don't know. So reached out to her and asked if she had something specific in mind, or if it was a broader thing, and I have not heard back. So
and it can be a goal. I love the idea, but it can be a goal, Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that.
Okay. So while we're on the topic of education, I have an update on Belle Meade magazine, Belle Meade Living. So we were, so as we know, it took a hiatus, and we were promised we had discussions with Tara Biller, and she was very amenable to continuing the relationship we have had regarding articles and increasing the number of articles and really giving us a presence, and then using the cover to launch, using the relaunch of the book and of the magazine and giving us the cover for series and our new logo. And that has changed. So we will not be getting the cover because we are an organization, and pardon the dog, she wants to focus on individuals and not organizations, even though we are a not-for-profit in Belle Meade. So additionally, she has stated that if we are to continue, I'm so sorry for the dog. If we are to continue contributing to the magazine, I would like a $5,000 donation to sponsor that. And she said, a local business could do it, whatever. I have very strong feelings on this. I would like to hear what y'all think.
I didn't hear what was said.
I'm so sorry. She would like, if we, I'm so sorry.
If you all heard, just go ahead with that.
Caroline, what we were saying is, she said, and she is Tara Biller, the editor, has said, if we are going to be able to continue to contribute an article, and it will only be one per month, it will require a $5,000 donation to her magazine.
No.
No, it's absurd in my opinion.
Well, the way that I plan to approach, after talking, I mean, I know how I feel. The way I would like to approach it to her is, we are a not-for-profit. We're not a business. We're a not-for-profit. We have only had one $5,000 donation ever, and that is from an estate. And that was in 2014, I believe. If somebody is willing to spend $5,000 to promote us, we would prefer to have that money in our pocket to do some real good in the community, rather than to give it to a business just so that we can have a half-a-page article, every month.
Okay, just like I was talking with you yesterday, I believe she's having a real problem selling ads to justify the magazine. So I know that's what she's been trying to do. And I don't think we shouldn't be a sponsor. We're supposed to be the recipient, I believe, of that. My opinion.
Right. Yeah, same.
Okay, I agree. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Does anybody else want to comment?
Agree.
Michael, what did you say?
I agree with you.
Oh, good. Okay. Yeah.
She's
All
gonna,
right.
she's gonna, if she actually gets the magazine going, she's gonna be begging for content.
Right.
Mhm.
We're one of the best sources for content. Us and Cheekwood are the two best sources for content.
Well, that was the case before, and so I will say I understand her position that before she was just the editor and not responsible for as much of the advertising dollars, and she didn't realize how expensive it is to produce one of these magazines, and I think it has taken her by surprise. However, that the onus should not be on us. We are, and again, we're not a for-profit business who is trying to, I don't know where this light is coming from. We're not a for-profit business that is trying to, bolster our profits. We really are clearly a nonprofit. We are just for Belle Meade, and I just don't feel comfortable allocating that amount of money, to a magazine for one article.
Yeah.
Well, someone made the comment earlier, I see us as being a provider of content she should be pleased about.
I agree. Beth, would you like to comment?
Yes, I just want to say, you know, there's always our monthly newsletter. Y'all are welcome to put content in there. I'm always looking for things. And, you know, we could even do a special publication that's a newsletter just devoted to the Beautification Committee or series that we could send out maybe every 6 months or every quarter. You want to do something like that and just reach our residents.
I love that.
Yeah.
Great
what
idea.
you all are doing. So please.
I love that.
Thank you. Okay, that's a great idea. Thank you, Beth.
Sure.
I really like that.
Me too.
Wonderful. Okay, so the next thing to talk about are the garden tours. We originally had planned to do garden tours this year. And you know, then we had said, okay, COVID came, and then we thought surely by July we would be able to meet, and by the end of the year we'd be able to do, you know, have an idea. But with the new directive from the mayor to put us back into phase 2, I just do not think that we are ready yet I just don't think we can start planning yet on when we will be able to get together for the garden tour. We had talked about using it as, you know, fundraiser. We had talked about lots of things. I think right now, with everything being so unknown, the wise thing to do is just continue to wait until we see what happens when we go into phase 3, when we go into phase 4, and sort of just be flexible and adapt as we go. Any ideas?
Makes
Great.
sense.
I think that's good.
Okay.
Laura Catherine, why don't we be optimistic and just plan that the subcommittee will use this winter, early winter, late fall, early winter to do some serious planning, and
I think that's a great idea.
hope that we'll just launch it in the spring.
Okay. All right.
And maybe have ready to present to the full series committee, you know, three options for different levels of participation. You know, I've seen some very beautiful virtual garden tours that did go in other cities this year. People paid for a password, and you know, it just wasn't the same thing, but it was beautifully photographed, and the tour guide did a great job. So, you know, we can have several options, I think, ready to go.
That's a great idea.
Yeah,
Do you
I love that
think,
idea.
when you say the fall meeting, we have September and then we have November. Do you think September or you think November?
Oh, no, I think the subcommittee will work this fall, winter, and we'll hope to have some options just informally to the committee. It may not be at a meeting, you know, just when we're ready to share.
Okay, sounds great. Sounds great. All right, are there any other updates from other committees? Jill, you're the education committee. And as we sort of lost Belle Meade Living, but we do still have the newsletter. I love the idea, Beth, thank you, of the special edition dedicated to series. I don't want to put that onus only on you. I think in order to do that, we might have several articles by several of us, you know, maybe feature a garden, talk about fundraising, etc. But do you have any other updates?
Well, I had ideas before COVID that I wanted to talk about. Like, I was thinking that it would be really fun if Creekside wanted to host like some little educational things, like whether it's for people to bring their kids or whatever, on how to grow tomatoes or how to identify this insect, or different kind of fun things for the community that we could do in different places, or even at my garden or different people's gardens. But I think right now with COVID, everything's stalled because we don't really want people together, you know. But those are some education ideas I had that I thought would be kind of fun, and especially educating the next generation of gardeners. Like that's what I liked about the article I did about the Victory Garden, was because my neighbors were, you know, they're these new gardeners, you know. So I can continue to run that Ask a Gardener, but I think that's likely going to be just 3 or 4 times a year.
Okay, we have
given my life.
we have not had any responses in the emails to that.
For questions,
unfortunately.
yeah. I haven't even really asked for them. I'm just gonna do an article.
Okay.
You know, like I'll make my own questions.
Okay, sounds
Does
good.
anyone else have ideas for education?
Okay.
No.
Okay, so then our other committees, strategy, you know, finances and strategy. I'd love to get together and see what we can do. You know, again, I have not had an update since April on donations coming in, but I've seen a few trickle in. So definitely would love to do another push maybe at the end of the year if we want to get ready for that. So I'll reach out to that committee and ask them to sort of come up with an idea for a push or something by the end of the year or at the end of the year for donations. And then what else do we have? Martha, thank you so much. I think all of your plantings are in for the plantings committee. Thank you so much. Have y'all noticed the boulevard and the pocket parks?
It's really good this year. I
What's
like
that?
the better, and I really like by Harding Road. It looks really good. I haven't seen everything, but I've been trying to drive around and look.
Well, we appreciate your work. We really do.
I'm gonna go take pictures of everything so we can remember what it looked like for next spring.
Mhm.
Actually, I think that's a great idea. We probably need to do that just for our archive to say, what did we do for this planting then? I will say, we added a few, we added 2 little medians or triangles over there by Clarendon and Sutton and all of that, South Sutherland. And when we did, we got a big bill from LSI. And it turns out that they said, well, we kind of weren't charging you anyway, whether it was a mistake or whether it was charity. They were not charging us for our flowers last year, but because we added the new ones, they are. So we had a much bigger expense this year for our flowers. If I'm not mistaken, it was around $15,000.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was much more. And it was because they had not charged us in the past, and now they were charging us, but they were also charging us for additional. So, but again, as we meet.
But was that, had they noticed in previous years?
I don't know. It was just kind of a fuzzy. I did not get this directly from LSI. I got this from Public Works, and so I'll get more information on that. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
I think
They were not charging us for labor, and so now they're charging us for the labor, and really
it was labor.
That's a big cost.
Okay, so it was labor. They were charging us
Themselves are not the bulk. It's the labor to plant and get ready and then put the mulch down. So that's kind of what we ended up having to pay a lot more for this year.
Okay, thank you. That helps me.
Sure.
Hey, I appreciate that.
May I ask though? Oh, go on, Martha.
No, you go, and then I'll chime in.
What are they charging? Like, how are they charging? Because like, I know that they used to charge like a certain amount per flat that included labor. Like, what are they doing now?
They were basically charging us for the flats of flowers and very little labor. They did not realize that. So, I mean, their labor is in our contract at $35 an hour. So that's what we have to pay for the planting and the preparation and so forth.
And then don't they go water every week?
Well, some of it's irrigated, and then there's some islands and pocket parks that have no irrigation. So they do have to water 2 or 3 times a week with the watering truck.
Right.
Is that in addition to that charge, or is that part of that charge?
No, there's one charge to plant everything in the fall, and then in the spring. That includes labor and materials now. And then the watering truck is a weekly cost. So.
Okay. All right, that's just something I wanted y'all to be aware of. Beth, thank you. I was thinking it was the reverse. They were charging us labor and not flowers, and I was thinking as we move towards annuals and that kind of thing, that might cut that down, but that does not, if, you know.
Right.
However, yes, it will to the extent of having some annuals and things that will continue to come back. It can cut down on that.
It's
side of
opposite,
things.
Laura Catherine.
Yeah.
It's the opposite, perennials.
Perennials.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
Thank you. As we move to
If we
perennials,
start more perennials, then they come back and we don't have to plant annuals every year. But some places it's not going to work. I don't think.
no,
Well,
but
see,
I think, but I think that's part of what we're going to talk about with the master plan, you know, is how much can we expect to do that is perennials, what needs to be annual, what can we do that is, you know, garden low maintenance volunteer, what needs to be LSI, etc.
Martha, have you looked at the bills? Do you feel that they're fair for what they're doing?
who, me?
Yeah.
No,
Or
I
do you
didn't-
just do the design?
No, I've never seen the bills.
I've never seen
I
the
just-
bills.
No, I've just met with him and Beth and Laura Catherine 2 different times, and he's just always done it. And then we changed up some stuff this year, but I never saw any kind of invoice or anything.
So
Gotcha.
we are not, at this moment, this committee is not fiscally
Okay.
responsible. Like, we don't have fiduciary. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Now, I
Okay.
could ask for them, and certainly Beth, you know, we can see them,
Sure.
but right now what we do is we make recommendations,
design.
and then
Okay.
the city council or the board of commissioners are the ones that say, you know, yes or no.
Okay. Gotcha.
And part of this is a contract price. I mean, we're locked into a contract.
Gotcha.
We can't really negotiate.
And Beth,
Mhm.
how long is that contract? Is it 3 years?
I believe it is a 3-year contract, and I don't remember when it's up. It may be
Okay.
this year, actually, when it's up.
Well,
It's
and just
arranged-
Beth, just for everyone, will you give them a little overview of how we bid out contracts and that kind of thing, so they know how we ended up with LSI?
And we've had LSI for several decades. I mean, the contract is a huge contract because it includes all of the maintenance, the lawn mowing, the irrigation system, the turf maintenance, the annual plantings. It's everything that we do. And a lot of landscape companies don't want to fool with the fussiness of some of our contract items. Some of them are not big enough to supply the manpower and things like that. So oftentimes, you know, LSI is the only one that bids, but we do advertise and publicize it. You know, it's open to anyone that wants to bid on the contract. You know, and we think about doing more than one contract and have one contract that really is lawn care and mulching and things like that, and another contract for the plantings. Maybe that would help with the pricing a little bit.
Well, and Beth,
Yes.
let's clarify, the lawn care and the lawn care does not come out of series. Is that correct?
No, that's a City of Belle Meade expense as part of our maintenance of the city.
Mhm.
So the Ceres Society pays for the plantings, and that includes, of course, the labor to do that. So it's not, you're not
Mhm.
for dozens of flats of flowers. You're paying for the labor to install
Sure.
and dress up the beds and weed and things like that. So that's all in one
Okay.
lump sum.
Do y'all have any questions about that? Jim, we had talked about maybe going to a model in like 5 years where Ceres is making decisions on spending the money rather than, you know, Board of Commissioners. We probably need to start the ball rolling, as this is our second year. I think in January might be when we want to start looking at these. I mean, not start, but to begin looking at these invoices and seeing where we are, so that years 3 and 4, we really have an idea. And then by year 5, we're ready to take it over.
I think that what Beth was had mentioned maybe looking at the contract with LSI and breaking it down. If it's not too much hassle to look at multiple parts of that contract, and maybe you could find something that would be a better pricing, might give us more flexibility. Beth, would it too much trouble to consider that? That could be a 5-year plan of breaking that master contract up into some smaller manageable pieces.
Right. No, that's not going to be too difficult to do.
We got so many more landscaping companies now that work in Belle Meade too, that might really be interested in doing some smaller parts of it.
Okay. Anybody else have any comments on that?
The tree care separate, or is it in that contract?
What do you mean by tree care?
The trimming of the trees and
That's not in that contract. No, that is separate.
that's separate.
Yes.
Hey, Laura Catherine, I just emailed you or text you a picture of my mailbox.
Yes.
Because when I went out there with my iPad, it died. And that is it's called a hyacinth bean.
Okay.
It comes back every year.
Okay.
That's what it is. It's very inexpensive.
I will grab that real quick from my phone.
And you can kind of blow it up. It's a purple.
Yeah, one sec. Let me. Hang on. I'm going to stop my screen share for a sec so that I can grab it.
Text it to you.
Yes, I did. And I plugged in my phone. So I'm grabbing it off my phone and I'm going to display it here. Or actually what I can do, if y'all will bear with
My
me.
mailbox needs cleaning, so don't judge. I got to go over there and out there and clean it up.
Y'all can see my whole screen, right?
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
hang on 1 second. Oh, hang on. I haven't saved it. I have to save it first. That was to a
Oh,
client.
you're buying a rug.
No, that's for a client. No, I want a new rug. I want 2 new rugs, but not that one. Let's see if that's it. But that was a great deal on a rug. I told her to buy. Well, that's not it. I told her to buy it now. Save. Oh, I have to. Hang on. To go back out. All right.
Is the Lab bean a new vine for some of us, or does most everybody know what it looks like?
I don't know.
I don't know. So.
Here comes, I bet.
Okay. Was it a live video?
No, it's just a picture
Okay, hang on.
from my iPhone.
There you go.
There
Can
it
y'all
is.
see that?
Blow it up. I mean, can you do your finger and yeah. See, those are the little blooms, and it has like
I
a
love
big
that.
pod. And then I just planted it like a month ago. It's gonna take off. It's already at the top of the mailbox. And then each of those pods bloom, and then they hang on, and then they drop and they reseed.
Great.
I love it.
And there's one Georgian that's covered the mailbox. And when I walk down that street, and that's where I got the idea. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get that hyacinth bean plant. And it's like $10.
It's even better.
Wow.
Okay, but again, so Martha, while you were walking to the mailbox, we were talking about maybe putting this off until the spring and and launching this campaign with our 2021 fundraising letter that usually goes out in April, but we were saying perhaps it could go out in March or even February, and we'll come plant for you. And then, you know, come summer, you'll have a wonderful plant.
Right. Good idea.
Okay, great. Okay, that is all I have on the agenda. Is there anything else that anybody would like to talk about?
I don't think so.
Did
It
you
just
mention?
It's hot summer and everything's going to happen in the fall with COVID and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Laura
do you
Catherine,
mean?
did you mention anything about the tree ordinance?
I did not. It's been passed, so I didn't. I did talk about Beth's idea about having the tree sanctuaries. Is there something you'd like to talk about?
No, I just wanted to make sure that everybody was aware that we now
It is
have a
in
tree ordinance.
effect.
Feel
Beth-
good about it?
Go ahead.
Hey, Michael, will you speak?
Yeah, no, I was just saying, do you feel good about the ordinance? You feel like it came out the way it needed to?
Yes, it got, you know, it got hammered pretty good. You know, it came out as a much more complicated ordinance than we wanted, so it was whittled down, and I think we're all real comfortable with it. It'll probably be an ordinance that's in always being modified as we find out things that we're doing well and things we're not doing so well. It's going to be a flexible thing that we can change. Lyle is actually on the call, I think.
I
Lyle,
love it. It's great. It's the best ordinance I've ever seen.
We love that, Lyle.
The bottom line is if somebody wants to cut down a tree that's valuable, you know, to the area, can you just do it or do you have to call somebody?
You need to call somebody. I actually came up with a permit, an application last week, and Gavin and I have gone through it with a fine tooth comb and added a couple of invasive trees, things like that. But yes, you need to call somebody unless there's an exception to it. Dead tree, nuisance tree, a tree that's causing public safety, damage to the foundation of your home, something like that.
Great.
And I want to add on to that, Lyle. All of the I say all. I met with Lyle and so did Gavin and lots of other people, and the majority of the emails and the concern we got from neighbors or whatever it was, what happens if there's a dead tree? Will I be penalized? What if it's in the power line? What if it's going to go through my roof? And that's all accounted for. So it's really only regulating trees that are not in the right of way, not in danger of falling, not, you know, they're completely healthy, and you want to move them. So there's no other reason that they should be gone except you just don't like them. And they're outside the building envelope, et cetera, et cetera. So I think that's important to state because most people said, most of the emails that I read said, well, I had a tree that just fell and I don't want to be penalized for that. Or I have a dead tree and it's really old and I don't want to have to pay a fine. And that's not at all the nature of the tree ordinance. It's really to prevent the clear cutting that we've seen on several lots where they have just leveled all of the healthy trees and taken out the ground cover. So that's, I think that's an important distinction to make. We're not saying you can't cut a tree down ever by any means. It's just, you know, if there's no need except you don't like it, it's, you know, blocking the sun at your pool or something, and that's fine. You can still cut it down. You just have to replace it somewhere else.
Yeah, and Laura Catherine, to add to that, there's no cost for the permit. This is really a way just to kind of keep things in check.
Yeah.
Would it be helpful, Lyle and Laura Catherine, to have a what if, but you know, and where you being the resident is asking questions and you're answering it? Typical questions one might have is, can I cut down a hackberry tree without a permit?
Well, I think the application addresses that. Like I said, Gavin and I got together last Friday, and I'm finished up tomorrow. A lot of people have called about hackberries. Does that count? It's really more about replacing canopy, and there's a ratio guide on the application itself as well as the ordinance. So I think we've got it pretty well covered.
Good.
Yeah, and Jim, I think that would fall under like the FAQs that we talked about when we were writing the ordinance.
It would make a great newsletter article.
Yeah.
Hey,
So I
anybody
think
want to
next month.
volunteer for that?
Yeah, well,
Who?
I'll do it. I mean, I've been involved with it for 4 years. Why not?
All right,
sure.
Lyle, we'd love it. Thank you. Okay.
I don't love him. I like him, but I don't love him.
I said we love it, not we love him, but we do love you, Lyle.
Okay.
Okay. Is
Thank
there
you.
anything else? Yes, Jill?
No, I was saying thank you. My phone's dying, so I'm going to leave.
Okay. Is there anything else that we have to talk about?
Who approves what can be cut down and who is the committee?
It's really not a committee. It's the ordinance that would judge that, and Lyle would be the. I don't know if he's a judge in theory, but he. Lyle, you want to address that one? Oh, he's got it. There, he took his mic off.
Well, we've got, when someone submits a set of plans for a home, some trees are going to have to be cut down. They're going to have an arborist show what trees are cut down, what type of tree they are. They're going to replace them, how many are going to be replaced, where they're going to go. So, I mean, I am not, the trees are. I'm just merely trying to help this ordinance be acted upon by everybody that needs to cut a tree down, wants to do an addition, put in a pool, whatever. It's just really a matter of keeping people in check. Whoever supplies the arborist, they pay for it. The city is not going to have an arborist. It's the person that's applying for the application's responsibility to turn that information in. And all of this will be coincides with the ordinance as well as the application. So hopefully we'll have that application up online possibly by the end of this week.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay, I've got one other thing just to ask. Is that what about the Tree City? Are you waiting for the ordinance to get clarified before you move
Yes.
forward on the Tree
The
City?
ordinance has to be clarified, in place, done,
Okay.
final before we can apply for Tree City.
Okay.
But that's a great thing. I'll stick in our notes.
Is there a time limit on how long someone can have a for sale sign on a vehicle in their driveway?
Did Beth leave us?
No, I'm still here.
Oh.
No, I mean, I'm not aware of any time limit. This isn't something new. I need to check with our city attorney.
Okay. It's just kind of annoying, but.
Well, you've got there's an ordinance about boats and things like that are in the driveway and whatever.
As long as they're on a paved surface, that's not a violation. And this car is on a paved surface. It's just got for sale signs in its window. So
yeah.
That's a new one. I mean, I have not had that in all my time here. So
okay.
I'll check on that.
Okay. All right, moving forward. Anything else you want to talk about with beautification?
That is beautification.
Yeah.
Getting rid of a car that says.
All right. Okay. Well, it is 6:30. I think we've covered everything. I will send out minutes to those who are not with us. I thank y'all so much for your time. I hope everybody's staying safe. And I really look forward to seeing y'all on the boulevard on Saturday. Let me know if you're not going to be able to make it, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.